All right, we are experiencing some technical difficulties on my computer, so I am on the cell phone right now, but I will be flipping over to the computer as soon as I can figure out why the webcam is not loading up. So just bear with me, people on the playback, bear with me. Anybody who randomly sees this, just bear with me as I try to figure this issue out. I do not understand why it's not working. It was just working on another person's stream, but apparently on my own stream, it does not want to work. And I would like to be on camera since I was on camera last night. Before I get too deep into the video, first off, I want to apologize to people for going a little bit crazy after Kambosos got the decision. Hold on one second, guys. I'm gonna have to mute this real fast so it doesn't echo. But yeah, I kind of went a little bit crazy after Kambosos got the decision because I was on a few channels, and one channel in particular tried to tell me that I only pick Kambosos for views, for clicks, etc., etc. And that's just to me ridiculous. I have more integrity than that, and I would not put my predictions on the line for a click. That makes absolutely no sense. Like, unlike some people, I have no emotional ties to these fighters. I do not like them. I do not dislike them. Now, I said I did not like Tio. I know that kind of sounds hypocritical that I said I do not like them, I do not dislike them, etc. The thing about Teofimo Lopez is what I dislike about him was his attitude that he claimed that Lomachenko was a diva and Loma didn't want to fight everybody and all this other stuff. But yet, when he beat Lomachenko, he became everything that supposedly Lomachenko was. That's what I don't like. Don't change up and flip up who you are because you're doing good. I don't like that. Be who you are. And maybe that is the real T.O. And now T.O. had control power and he could be himself. I don't know. But what I do know is I don't like people who claim somebody's one way, then they turn out to be the exact same thing that they're claiming somebody else is. And on top of that, saying that they don't like them for that reason. What's going on, regulator? How are you doing? I'm really trying to get my webcam to work on StreamYard, but it is not. It is refusing to go through. And I don't know why. I do not know why I cannot get myself loaded up on here. Let me drop a link in the chat if anybody wants to talk about this fight. We're going to get into it in a minute. Like I said, I've got some technical difficulties going on right now. But this was the prediction that I picked. In fact, let me just go over here and tag this video real fast because I haven't even done that yet. So we're a little behind because I thought that this would be working properly, and it is not at all. Let me go over here. Let's go. Boop. Should we? Nah, we're not going to monetize it. I normally don't monetize my lives to the playback. Anybody join it? I don't really like to monetize my lives, so I'm not going to. But what I do want to do is, and I predicted. Hey, but regulator, you heard my next crazy prediction, right? Dillian White knocks out Tyson Fury. That is not going to change. I have Dillian White flooring Tyson Fury, and he's going to be nailed to the canvas. He will not get back up. It's going to be all the all the birdie yum yum, or birdie num num, whatever Dillian White says. It's going to be all the body work that's done to Fury. He's not going to be able to handle it, and he's not going to be strong enough to clinch on and hold on to Dillian White like he did Deontay Wilder. He will not be able to do that. I'm not sure if I'm going to get all the views I got last night because I'm not even trying to be on for too long. I wish I was on camera, but for whatever reason, I cannot get my camera to work. I do not know why, and that is what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to figure out this issue because I would like to be on camera versus just a avatar so people can know who I am. But again, I do want to say for the second time that I apologize for going crazy at the end and talking the most stuff because it really irritated me that I was over on, and I'll just say the channel. I was over on H Money's channel, who I've never had any issues with H Money. But then he tried to tell me that I was only picking George Kambosos for clicks, that I didn't know boxing, that I didn't truly believe what I was saying. And this dude is over there spreading rumors that Kambosos lost the fight when it's as clear as day he just outclassed Teofimo Lopez. It wasn't even, in my opinion, the fight wasn't even competitive. If you take take away the round where Teo floored Kambosos, what did he really do to him? I only gave him 2 rounds. I don't give credit for somebody swinging it air. You got to connect. And when you're having your head jabbed off and you're being left hooked all night and having overhand rights land on your face all night while you're not landing, you're not winning. It doesn't work like that. Throwing a powerful shot means nothing if you can't find the target. And that's all Teo was doing. He was just throwing powerful shots that could not land, could not find their target. And I knew he was going to be too slow. Now people are talking about he was ring rusted. Well, if that be the case, if Teo was ring rusted, then what was George Kambosos? Because he was out of the ring, I believe, longer than Teofimo Lopez, and if not longer, for the same amount of time. So was Kambosos ring rusted? And if so, what would Kambosos have done to Teo if he wasn't ring rusted? It would have been even worse. So I find it hilarious that all the excuses are coming out that Teo was weight drained. You broke it down why you thought he would win. I broke it down why I thought he would win, and he won how I thought he would win. That's what's so crazy about it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't mean to like toot my own horn, but a lot of people can come up with predictions, right? Anybody can say, I believe this guy will win, but it's very hard to break down a fight and it play out like you break it down. And them follow the game plan of how you said that they need to do it. It's almost like I was in the corner with them while they were training Kambosos for this dude because I knew it. I saw it. I know how this fight needed to go because, and I'm not pointing fingers at other people. Everybody gets it wrong. Okay. My new prediction playlist is 100%. But to be honest with y'all, I'm not 100%. I've gotten 80 plus right now, probably close to 85 correct and 9 wrong. That's my real record. I just don't feel like looking for 90 plus videos to put them in a playlist. So I started over. But everybody can get a fight wrong. I've gotten them wrong. Anybody can get it wrong. But again, it's not about per se being right or wrong, because you can be wrong and still sort of be right. And what I mean by that is you could pick the wrong guy to win, but if you break down the fight and the fight plays out pretty much how you predicted, you are still kind of right. And a lot of people cannot do that. They give you these baseline generic breakdowns that anybody could come up with. You know what I mean? What's going on, Rob Cruz? How you doing? No, I actually just started the stream, but I'm not going to be on for too long. This is probably only going to be about a 45-minute long stream. But what I'm trying to do right now is I'm on my computer trying to figure out why StreamYard is not accepting my webcam. Like, it's literally, I see my light on, I press the webcam button, but nothing happens. It's not loading, and I do not know why. Let me try to plug it into another port because I want to be on camera. It was a very good fight. It was a very good fight. But it was a very one-sided fight last night. In my opinion, I thought it was. I did reset my computer. I literally restarted my computer so I could get on webcam, and it still did not fix the issue. Let me see something. Let's go over here. Let's go to here. I'm gonna try one more thing. bear with me. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, we're going to restart the computer one more time. I'm going to unplug the camera this time. Let me see. Do you believe Teo lost the fight or Kambosos is that good? I believe that Teo is that bad. That may not be the answer you want to hear, but I do believe Kambosos is a good boxer. Don't get me wrong. I think Kambosos is a very skilled boxer, and I stated all that before this fight happened on my prediction. However, I think Teo, as I stated, was just a flash in the pan. That's all it was. The stars aligned for him perfectly to get him where he was. I don't think he's that good, and I think that if you want to call them the four kings, I think the other three kings beat him. I think Ryan Garcia knocks the dude out within the first 5 rounds. I think Tank Davis gets him out of there within 10 rounds. And I think Devin Haney boxes circles around him. I've never rated Teo as that good. And I'm truly, truly starting to lean towards it. I don't like using excuses because I never do. But I'm really starting to believe that Lomachenko was really injured with his shoulder. And that's why Teo looked as good as he did. And that's why Lomachenko didn't let his hands go at all. And that might be another reason why Teo never wanted to run back the rematch. Because now here it is, he loses to a guy in George Kambosos that many believe had no chance, where if he was going to get a loss, at least he could have lost to a pound-for-pound guy in Lomachenko. But instead, he went with the much easier fight, which some were considering a cherry, even though he was a mandatory, and he ended up getting his ass whooped. Bro, I'm from Brooklyn and I don't like him. He should have given that fight to High Tech. That's what I'm saying, Rob. What I'm saying is, I truly believe when Loma started letting his hands go in the 7th round through 11th round, Teo realized that he was outclassed. But the problem was Loma got so far behind on the scorecards, it didn't matter. It did not matter what Lomachenko did. He gave away too many early rounds, and there was no hope of him being able to come back from that. And that's why Teo won. And then with the Richard Comey fight, he just happened to catch Comey with a good shot that Comey couldn't recover from. But in the first round, Comey was beating him. He was tagging him left and right. Nakatani, who Loma just completely outclassed. I don't know how high up I would rank Nakatani. I think George Kambosos boxed circles around Nakatani and has an easier fight than he did with Lopez. And Lopez went life or death with Nakatani. So I think it's one of them things where all the stars aligned for Teo that got him to where he was. And he got a big head. He became the diva that he claimed Lomachenko was, and it backfired on him. Now here he is fighting for Matchroom, who's not even his promotional company. And now he's got to go back with his tail in between his legs, his head real low, and beg Bob Arum to do something for him. And Bob Arum may be done with him. I don't know. I don't know what Bob's going to do with Teo now that Teo's coming off of a loss. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I was George Kambosos, after Teo said he won 11 rounds to 2, while George was trying to be respectful and give him all the credit, I would never give him a rematch. I would treat Teo like Teo treated Loma. I would not give him a rematch. I read that WBC acknowledges Cam is undisputed. That franchise title did nothing but confuse it. No, see, I don't consider Kambosos undisputed. I'm going to keep the same energy. Even though I picked Kambosos to win, he's not undisputed. He's not undisputed until he beats Devin Haney. And I'm not holding anything against Teo because, in my opinion, Teo was never undisputed. I'm not holding anything against Kambosos because I'm saying he's not undisputed. And I don't hold anything, and I should say hold anything, and I'm not trying to big up Devin Haney. But because Lomachenko vacated his title, I cannot say that Teo and Kambosos are undisputed. I can't do it. Now, Haney may be a very easy fight for Kambosos to win. He may get outclassed. You know what I mean? Haney may look like he doesn't belong in the ring with Kambosos. Kambosos may be too fast, hit too hard, and outboxes him. That's a possibility. Okay. But because of the circumstances, you have to beat Haney. If JoJo Diaz beats Haney, he's the real WBC champion. Kambosos needs to go see JoJo Diaz. I would love for JoJo to win because I could go, JoJo! And then I could put up JoJo Bizarre Adventure memes all over the place for that fight. Regulator, by me putting it up, I mean you. Let me see. He can't sell tickets, but Bob needs Tio since Bud just left the promotion. Yeah. Here's the thing. Who does Tio really beat at 140? Teofimo Lopez is not special. See, here's the thing. Even let's say that Lomachenko really did not have an injury. Let's go with that and say that Loma never had an injury, that the shoulder was all BS, and he loses to Teofimo Lopez. That doesn't mean Tio is special because he beat Loma. What made Loma special is he's now up into his third weight class, fighting guys who are bigger, stronger than him, okay? It doesn't make you special by beating a smaller guy. What makes you special is by being able to clear out your division, move up and beat bigger guys than you. That's how you become special. To me, Tio is good. That's it. He's not great. He's not going to be legendary. He's not going to be an elite. He is just good. What's going on, Boxing Learner? I appreciate it. I really wish I could get my stupid webcam to work because my phone's really low on its battery and I can't. If I turn on my camera, it'll die too fast. And plugging it in does no good because it just slow drains the battery. I have no idea why I cannot get on my webcam on my computer. Boxing Learner, you're more than welcome to invite back out there. You can talk about it. Tell me what you saw in the fight. And I can tell you what I saw, and we can see if we agree or disagree. Because, on my channel, I don't need sheep to agree with everything I see. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I accidentally kicked out the wrong me. Like I was trying to enter on my computer, and instead of me kicking off my computer one, I kicked off my cell phone one, which is the one I'm talking on. I think I put the link in the chat. Boxing Learner, come through, jump on. Let me know what you thought about the fight. As I was saying, I don't need sheep to agree with me. So if you disagree, let me know why you disagree, and I may see it from your point of view. I like hearing what other people see. That's really truthfully what's helped me get so well at making these predictions, that I can listen to what other people say, take that and use it, and then I can break it down to what I see, and then use the two to make my predictions like I do. My thing is this: people who only want to hear what they believe, they truly will never see growth or learn much because they're stuck in their own ways, and your way may not be the best way. So if you see things from both angles and know how other people are coming at it, it will help you broaden your horizons and make your results much better, whether you agree or disagree. What's going on, Boxing Learner? How you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up, Tony?
I'm doing all right. Nothing much. Just, trying to do this stream, but can't get my computer to work.
Yeah, the fight was it was interesting. It was very interesting to me because I was just surprised that they actually started to go aggressive in the first round. I didn't think they were actually. I thought they was going to set up, try to get a knockout in the first round. Maybe throw some jabs. I don't know, but he was hitting Kambosos. I think Kambosos was just trying to lure him up, and he did with a good overhand right, and he dropped him, and yeah, it just pretty much changed the pace of the fight because he was in there with a very tough, skilled opponent.
I mean, very skilled, and that showed. And yeah, I mean, you got to give it to Kambosos. He did show us grit because I think it was the 10th round, right, where he got dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looked like in that 10th round that Tio almost had him finished. Like he had him hurt bad.
Yeah, he said he wasn't hurt, but that's not true. He was hurt in that 10th round.
Nah,
And,
you like on the replay, you could see slobber coming out of his mouth. Like he was damn near out of there.
yeah, but Tio didn't step on the gas. I was like, hey, what's going on? Why are you not stepping on gas? Are you tired? Or yeah, I don't know, man. It's just that the guy confused him. He had a variety of punches that he could throw, and he was fast with it. And he was good with the distance. He made Tio miss, and he was able to get his punches in. And Tio, whenever he started jabbing, put together more than one punch, he could land. But for whatever reason, he looked like he was looking for one big punch, and that's what it kind of like felt like he was trying to be Deontay Wilder in there.
In my opinion, is the only way he could win the fight was Deontay Wilder. That was, in my opinion, going into this fight, the only hope that he had was to knock out Kambosos because I mean, I know a lot of people disagree with me and disagree with what I was saying in the lead up to this fight, and you're more than welcome to disagree as well. But to me, Tio is a very flat foot, slow fighter. People get so captivated when they see him knock guys out, but they don't really see the difference in like a reactionary fighter and in somebody who's fast. Reaction time can appear to be speed, but it's really not. It's when you see a guy flinch, when you see a guy come towards you, how you can get off the line and get your punch off while he's coming to catch. That's what he's great at, counter punching. But when you see him move around the ring or when you see him throw jabs, straights, hooks, they're slow. They're really, really slow unless he's counter punching. He uses, it's like how he called you Kome. He uses your momentum against you. And I knew a guy like George Kambosos, who could move like a Lomachenko, who could herky jerky like a Pacquiao. That's what we trained with. That was taller and could box it from the outside. I just didn't see much chances for Tio to be able to get off what he's best at.
Well, yeah, you were right. I felt like he could have stopped him in the 10th round, but I don't know why. I don't know what he was. But Kambosos, to his credit, he was slippery. He used some lateral movement to make it hard for Tio. He was still hit. Tio was still hitting him though, but he made it. He used the lateral movement to escape and to get out the round. And then from there, he just took the 11 and the 12. That was his best chance. He just to me as soon as the 10th left, it was over because he wasn't going to win those 12th rounds. I mean, he fought, he tried. I don't know what the strategy was. His dad was horrible. He didn't really help him. No real game plan. I mean, he needs to get rid of that guy. And he kind of acted like a dick at the end of the fight. I know it was kind of stressful and you got embarrassed, but you should have just gave him his props. That's what he did with Nakatani. He didn't really give Nakatani his props. He's like, he just say, hey man, the guy was tough. He was good. He just didn't want to do it. I don't know what goes for him now. I think he should just fall back. If he wants to go 140, he should just like start very, very at the back, the lower 100s, get a new trainer, and just build yourself back up. Get back in line.
I mean, I don't see how he survives at 140 because you gotta understand punch resistance is more than just being able to take a punch and not getting knocked down. Punch resistance also comes to how your body absorbs the shots, meaning that you've seen guys take shots that you would think would knock people out or should leave them bruised and battered, and they don't even have a mark on their face. They're very punch resistant. I mean, I've looked at Tio against Nakatani, Lomachenko, and now Kambosos, who really doesn't have a lot of power. He might have some pop, but he doesn't have a lot of power. And his low knockout ratio shows that with only 10 knockouts out of 19 fights, I think now, or 20. I don't remember if this was the 19th or the
20.
20th.
Yeah, was his 20th fight.
So he's got a 50% knockout ratio, and most of those came early in his career against low opposition. So I'm looking at three guys who aren't knockout artists that have leaving this dude battered. His face is all types of beat up. What's going to happen when he gets in there with a guy who can actually punch like Regis Prograde, Ramirez, Josh Taylor? Like, if these little dudes are doing this to his face, what's going to happen when the much bigger guys do it?
Well, that's why I said don't really challenge those guys. Just start. Towards the lower half of the 100s, and then just build up. But they probably won't let him do that because they re-signed with a contract, so they probably want to make money off of him. But that's not the right thing to do for his career. He needs to get rid of his dad. He needs to find a better trainer that can help him, teach him some new skills, and he just needs to get in the ring to be able to exercise those skills.
I just I understand what you're saying that he needs to go after the low hanging fruit at 140, and that's a possibility. But at some point in time, he's gonna have to step up. He's gonna have to fight the
Of
killers of the
course, of
division.
course.
And
I'm
the
just
thing
saying
is,
that.
well, I'm saying even if he acclimates himself to the weight class, is he going to be able to take the shots? Because one thing you cannot fix is your chin, and he got dropped early in the first round by Kambosos.
Yeah, that's true, but you can get dropped and not be hurt. He wasn't hurt.
Yeah, but how many people has Kambosos with any types of chins truly dropped?
If you punch in the right place and the person isn't really protecting themselves, you can drop them, and that's what he did. That's why he was coming out crazy in the beginning, trying to knock him out. And when you're over aggressive, you leave yourself open for stuff like that. Lots of fights a lot of guys that Kambosos fought have never did that. Something as reckless as stupid as that. So he didn't knock him down.
Well, see, that's another thing too. Like the guys that Kambosos fought prior to Tio were all movers, we're all slick, we're all fast. So again, I think his competition leading up to Tio helped him a lot more because if you can hit guys who are much faster than somebody and get out of the way of their shots, it's easier to get out of the way of a guy who's slower and hit a guy who's slower.
Yep.
And I mean that's what I was trying to tell people. Like a lot of people leading to this fight, there was like, Kambosos, he ain't really beat nobody. He's not really special. Da 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 da. But sometimes it's like I give you a prime example. Now, and I'm gonna come up this because with Boots in us, right? A lot of people are big on Boots. I'm not sold on Boots yet, but whether they're at the top tier opponents or not, you can look at their natural attributes. You know what I mean? Like how fast they are, how good they move around the ring, how
Mhm.
accurate their punches are, how good their timing is. Can they slip? What do they do? You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that you can look at that guys do even when they're fighting bums.
Yep.
And that's my thing. Now I will say this. Whenever I was watching all of Kambosos' fights, because I went way back, in his seventh fight, when he was 6-0, he fought a Filipino guy. I can't remember his name, but he was from the Philippines. If Teal would have came out fighting him like that dude did, Kambosos may have had some issues. So what that guy did was he used his size and his strength. I think at the time Kambosos was only like 21 years old. So he was much younger, much weaker, but still Teal should be bigger, stronger to do the same, even though Kambosos is older now. The guy pretty much kept it in the pocket, and like when they got close, he would use the clinch and the free hand and start hitting Kambosos in the body. He made it look very ugly and wrestled with them a lot. And I think that's what Tio needed to do against a guy who moves like
Mm.
Kambosos does.
Yeah, it's interesting because I heard a guy named Goodfellow Sports TV. He says that Tio, like, he's gonna really struggle at the higher weights, so he needs to learn some inside fighting.
Yeah, he does. Because also he's going to be on the shorter side once he goes up. He's
Yeah,
only 5'8".
that's true.
How
That's
how tall
weird.
Taylor's what, 5'10"?
Yeah, 5'10". I don't know how tall Crawford is. They say I think I don't even, yeah, I don't know how tall Crawford is. Spencer's 5'10". Yeah, Boots is like 5'11", I think. Same thing
Well,
with
that
Vert.
weight that's a heavier weight class than 140. That's 147.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I seen a couple of 140 guys. They're not that big. They're not that tall.
I don't know. I don't know where Teal goes from here. I mean, I sound harsh, but my honest opinion of Teal was he's just a flash in the pan, and Kambosos was the top that covered it. Like I don't think he'll ever be a world champion again. I think, and I'll tell you this. Let me get your opinion on this. After watching this fight, I'm almost positive Devin Haney would have schooled him badly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. You could probably say that. I think he was also looking past George a little bit. So I don't think he will look past Devin. So I don't know if he'll school him badly.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think Kambosos is faster than Devin Haney?
Faster than Devin Haney. Well, Devin Haney is fat. I guess he's pretty fast with the jab and his yeah. I guess he's fat. Devin Haney is faster than uh Kambosos, like a little bit faster, not super faster than him.
Right. In boxing, just milli-inches is all that
Yeah,
matters. You can get off by a centimeter, a millimeter, and that's it. That's all you need. Like talking about tenths of an inch. That's all that matters to get out of the way of a punch. And if Haney is just slightly faster than Kambosos, right? He may not be, but let's just say he is. Then imagine how much easier it's going to be for Haney to get out of the way of the shots.
uh-huh.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think there's a reason. I think there is a reason why Tio did not want to fight Lomachenko in a rematch, and he did not. Like I don't know how many times Devin Haney has ran up on this dude to fight him. Kind of like how Bud runs up on Spence, and
Yeah,
I'm starting to think there's a reason why he didn't want to fight Haney. There's a reason why he didn't want to fight Lomachenko, and I think George Kambosos just exposed what he's really weak against: speed.
yeah, and movers, I guess.
Now, who do you think is going to win against JoJo and Haney?
Well, I think Devin's gonna win, but JoJo's gonna try to make it dirty. I think he's gonna try to do as much as he can normally, but then he's gonna find out that Devin's pretty crafty, so he's gonna try to be a little bit dirty. Maybe throw a little low blow here and there.
He could get dirty. That's a possibility. I, I don't know who's going to win the fight. I've really got to start analyzing JoJo because I mean I've seen him fight fights before. Like I think like if he approaches Haney like he did Tevin Farmer, that he'll be well off. But at the same time, has Tevin Farmer fought since he lost to JoJo?
No, he hasn't.
So there was one thing that I noticed in that fight. Tevin wasn't reacting right to me. He looked off. Like he kept blinking, looking up.
Yeah,
I don't know what was wrong with him. And then, like you just said, he hasn't fought since that fight.
yeah. And they say he has some type of condition called Tourette's. I don't know what it is and how it affects him. I just know that they say he had a condition and maybe it affected him in the fight.
Well, I've never seen him act like that in a fight before.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Maybe he does, but
Yeah,
I see that that's how JoJo has to approach Haney in the same type of similar style because Tevin Farmer, while he is a lot smaller than Devin, very similar in styles, how they move, how they jab, you know what I mean? How they use the ring to their advantage.
yeah.
But I mean, I'm hoping. Now let me ask you this. Do you consider George undisputed?
George Undisputed. No, I never really believed in the Undisputed thing. I believe that you're the man. If you believe like in the lineal thing, that the lineal is the only championship that matters, then yes, you're the man. But no, he's not undisputed. You have to have the world titles.
So that's why I agree with you that Tio needed to beat Haney. to be undisputed, and I think George needs to do the same. Like my energy's not gonna change because it's Kambosos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I will say this: he did say at the post-fight interview. I don't know if you heard it, but Kambosos said he's going to be ringside for the JoJo Diaz Devin Haney fight.
Yeah, I know. He said he wasn't gonna leave. And he was gonna be there because he wants Devin Haney next.
What do you think about that fight? I think that's an interesting fight.
Yeah, it's a very interesting fight. Both guys are fast. Both guys can move. Man, I think I think the jab. I think that Devin Haney being longer and just a little bit faster is going to help him set up his shots and get out the way of which George. Even though George is pretty good, he's a pretty good guy with distance.
Do you think George can knock out Haney or floors?
Possible, yes. Not knock out, but he can definitely drop Haney.
Do you think Haney can drop George?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I think it could be a good fight.
See, I think for both guys, that's a very difficult fight because what you have is two true boxers. Like both guys are true boxers. Like I think it. I don't think it'll be a fan friendly fight. I think it'll be a very like if you're a diehard boxing fan and you like technical skill and you like all the little nuances that they do to set up shots. I think it'll be very interesting. But as far as like an exciting fight with explosion like this Tio fight was, I think it'll be very boring to the casual fan.
Mm. Awesome. Well, Kambosos got some layers to him. He can apply pressure, but I don't think he's really like an inside fighter. He can apply pressure and he can counterpunch pretty well. So
No, he's pretty good at inside. If you watch some of his fights, I don't know how many fights you've seen him fight, but yeah, he can let off combinations. Like he's real good at throwing little short hooks in repetition at the back on guys when he gets up close. Which
okay,
which is what he tried to do with Tio, but you don't slug with a slugger. He learned that in the 10th round. Like, yeah, I don't care how dominant you're looking. Like, you just give up all your advantages when you try to get into a slugfest with a guy who's known for knocking people out.
yeah, UG,
Was
yep,
that?
huh? What's up?
I said, what'd you say?
Oh, I saw the UGC. He said Haney versus Kambosos undisputed. And they can do it. They can do it if it can be as done as early maybe as March, maybe April. Yeah.
Yeah, that I want to see undisputed, true undisputed, no disputed undisputed. But I would really like to see official undisputed, and the winner can go take pictures with Canelo.
Yeah. Mm. And then Ryan, he said he wanted to fight George Kambosos Jr. I don't think that's, yeah. George is just I guess he's a he's actually a throwback fighter. He's got a real mentality of a throwback fighter, very confident, but he's humble and you know, he's mean in a way, but he's mean in the right way. You want that type of meanness in a fighter, but he's also humble and he's just an all around solid guy. I think even if he takes the L to one of these guys, I still want to see him fight guys like Isaac Cruz. Who else is out here?
Isn't that who Tank's about to fight?
Yeah, Tank's probably going to destroy him, but I'll still like to see them fight. That's what the fight that was going to be the fight if Teofimo vacated his belts after he beat after the Loma fight. That's would have been the fight for the IBF.
So Tio was gonna fight Isaac Cruz.
No. George Kambosos was going to fight Isaac Cruz if Teo vacated the belts.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Yep.
I mean, I've never even seen Isaac Cruz fight. To be honest with you, if I have, I can't remember it.
I
What's his
uh
advantage? What does he do good?
yeah, he gets on the inside. He throws a lot of body punches. He throws a lot of uppercuts, and sometimes he throws a lot of wild punches. And he's just a very rough fighter. He'll get close to you, hold you, and throw uppercuts. Basically, that he's just a very very wild fighter. That's why they call him the pit bull.
How tall is he? Is he short like a pit bull?
Yeah, he's short like a pit bull too.
So is he taller, or shorter than Tank, or around the same size?
He's just like maybe an inch shorter than Tank.
It's just when I hear like you saying that he's an inside fighter, that's scary against Tank. Like
Yeah, because
that
he doesn't really he goes for broke, so it's going to be easy to counter him.
because if Tank, like, I understand the ball went damn near the whole fight with Tank, but if he catches you cleanly, like, I don't know, man, it's over. Like he
Yeah,
might put a fork in you.
yeah, yeah. He's probably going to do him worse, maybe even just as bad as Leo Santa Cruz.
The only thing that scares me with Tank is I feel like Mayweather has really held him back from his full potential.
Yeah,
And because, in my opinion, he's been fighting softer touches, what
yeah,
scares me is he's going to get in there with guys like Devin Haney or Teofimo Lopez or Kambosos, and he's going to lose a fight he should win because his competition has been so weak that when he steps up, he's going to drown.
that's very possible. Uh, I don't know. I think he's getting more grounded in his real world because before he was very very he did he was doing a lot of stupid things in his personal life, but I think he's becoming more grounded, more mature. Especially he's got one more court case to deal with, but I think after that he's going to be pretty solid. He's going to
That's
be in
that hit, right?
the hit and run. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, he's facing a lot of years for that, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think maybe just maybe Floyd and LB have something up in the cards to help him.
I mean, money talks.
Yeah,
Maybe they can pay off some people and get them a slap on the wrist.
yeah, yeah. But he's been. I don't know. He's not. I think he's moved away from Baltimore, so I don't think any more stuff like that's gonna happen anymore. But
Yeah,
he's a good fighter. But when he was going through like all those guys those Argentinians and Mexicans that no one ever heard of. Yeah, it was kind of concerning. I'm like, isn't this guy going to step up? But I thought the Barrios fight was a good fight, and I thought Barrios was actually beating him a bit. But he got undisciplined. He started to do a little bit macho. He tried to get back to his game plan, but by then by then Tank was hurting him, and he probably could have made to the 12th round maybe, but the referees decided to waive off the fight.
you talking about with Barrios?
Yeah,
Nah, I don't think Barrios could have survived. Like Tank was really starting to get off on him, and when it's late in a fight like that, it's not good to have somebody getting off on you. I mean, if
mm,
it was like early in the fight, you know what I mean, then I would say that yeah, maybe it could have went on. But that late, getting hit that hard, I think it's just disastrous as it gets deeper.
yeah. Yeah, I just thought that it was a good fight. Barrios gave him trouble because he was longer and taller, but
Mm.
eventually, he got the punch that he was looking for, and then he started to turn the tide.
Yeah, it was a jab of Barrios that was giving him a lot of issues. And you know what? I say that victory was because of Mayweather, because Mayweather walked up there and told him he was losing the fight. And that's when it like 180, whenever it started going back in his favor.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess Mayweather helps him out a little bit, but maybe in the long run he might not be that helpful.
I just feel like with Mayweather, he wants his fighters to do well, but he doesn't want them to do better than he did. He always wants the limelight.
Well, that's what yeah, that's what we all believe about Floyd. I guess so, man. But you know, I like to think he wants better for Tank, or he said he wants Tank to surpass him. I think that's impossible because a lot of things lined up in his career. The decline of the heavyweights. No real heavy American heavyweight champion, and him beating Oscar, him playing the heel. He's a good talker, very articulate. You know, had a lot of catchphrases. You know, like hell of a fighter. You know, Money May, all this stuff. The money team. You know, but Tank isn't like that. He's not very articulate. He can't really talk like that. He's not a character like Floyd. So I don't think he can do that. But he can probably do the Mike Tyson route. Cause if he really starts beating guys that are very good, he could possibly become like a mini Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but Mike Tyson was very articulate though. Like Mike Tyson could talk. He could talk with
Yeah.
the best of them. Like he got a lot of stuff that he said too that are like highlight reel worthy. Like Tyson was wild with his interviews.
Yeah.
Um,
He just had a weird sounding voice. That's all. Oh, what's up, Con?
Hello?
you,
Am I on?
yes, you are.
Yo, what up, boxing learner? What's up, Tony? What up, man? If
How you
y'all hear roosters, that's just the wild roosters roaming around my area. Don't just mind your business. Um, yeah, man. Tony, you call it, man. You call it, man.
doing? Yep. But Cole, you over there on Earl Smith
Are you
Jr.'s farm?
hearing me good? Because is there a delay?
We can hear you.
Oh, oh no, man. It's just Caribbean people. Roosters all about the damn place. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, man. Tony, you called this fight, man. Congratulations on that big call. But I'm glad Tio lost. He got to sort out his shit. His father is embarrassing. I mean, they were just acting an ass all fight week to the lead up. I mean, I'm not sure how much more obnoxious you could have gotten. I don't
Yeah,
think they have too much people being sympathetic to them. You know what I mean?
and they shouldn't. But I just can't believe how not unself-aware they are. I'm like, come on. I know Teofimo senior. He got a problem, but Teofimo should be like, a lot of this stuff I'm saying doesn't make sense. But he's around his father, and this dude has a very unstable life, in his family life. So the only guy he really is close to is his dad. So I guess this is what happened when the dad's your closest guy. He's that's delusional.
Well, I don't think it's the closest guy because if you look at Sean Porter and Kenny Porter, they're extremely close, and Sean is very respectful of his dad.
But
Like his dad can say anything, he'd be like, "Yes sir, no sir," never really argue with him. But I think here's the difference. Like when you look at Senior or you look at like a Angel Garcia, to me, those are the type of I'm not saying they're bad fathers. But what I'm saying is they're the type of fathers in sports that I don't like, and what I mean by that is it's like they're living their life vicariously through their sons. It's like they always wanted to be a boxer, so they're acting as if they're their son that they put into boxing, whether they forced them in it or their kids chose to do it, whatever be the reason. It just looks like that they think that they are a fighter, living their lives through their sons' lives versus letting their sons have all the shine. Whereas like a Kenny Porter, he's really a background guy. He'll talk when he's asked questions, but let shine on the show.
yeah, that's how. If you look at Teofimo's story on ITR Boxing, he took his son to the gym. He was trying to become a professional boxer, but he was getting up there in age, but his son showed promise, and so he kept him in the gym, and he kept on improving to where he is now.
Yeah,
So it's like he living through his son.
Hmm.
So it's
yeah,
like so
that's
it's
what I'm
like
saying.
he's lived vicariously through his son. My bad, man. I had like a bad connection. My bad. Sorry. Um,
No, you good.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. As you were saying, like certain fathers, there's nothing wrong with loving your son and you support your child through whatever. But when it gets to a point where you start becoming, making yourself a spectacle and a distraction, I mean, this guy has enough stress already in fight week, making weight. knowing that he got to go fight another man in a couple of days, than to have to worry about you running up in the goddamn public workouts, trying to fight somebody.
Yeah.
And Senior learned very quickly. You don't run up on Kambosos Senior. He got his ass jumped up and he was crying to the camera. Y'all see him put his hands on me? Y'all see him put his hands on me? Like, bro, you running up on them, talking all that shit. Eventually, somebody's gonna pull your card.
Man, Teofimo is unfortunate to have a dad like this guy. He needs to get a different trainer. I think he needs to probably even get him out of his life for a little bit, you know.
Who would you like to see train though?
I don't know. I think maybe he should stick with Joey Gamache, you know, and until he can find someone that can really I don't know. I don't know how he needs to transform, but he needs to make a lot of he needs to gain to pick up a lot of new skills like fighting on the inside, and you know he need to work on his jab. So anybody that can help him with body punches, inside fighting, and his jab, setting up punches. Because if he sets up punches, he'll be all right.
Well, didn't Joey Gamache leave him?
I think they left him. I'm not sure.
Because I mean, from what Kambosos was saying, Tio's whole damn team left him.
So that's why he
Yeah,
probably
that's
didn't have
what.
a good cut man. The guy who was with the cut was terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
he
that
couldn't
I.
stop nothing, bro. Made that shit worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'll give Tio one piece of credit. At least he showed the desire to win because he never gave up. No matter how bad he was beat up, he attempted to win throughout the whole fight.
Well, according to Tio, he was winning the fight.
11-2.
You're goddamn right,
11-2.
bro. When Tio did that shit in the post fight, I was like, oh nah, don't do that. Nah, man, don't
It's
don't do
gonna
that in front of the crowd.
Yeah, it's gonna take him forever. Like he's gonna have to if he really wants to become a champion again, he's gonna have to go through the long road. Like he's gonna probably take some more losses. He's gonna have to learn the hard way, and he's probably kind of like Kiko Martinez. You know how Kiko Martinez just knocked out Kid Galahad, but it was a long road.
Yeah.
It was a long road for Kiko to get here. So that's what's going to happen with Teofimo because he's just so immature and he believes in his hype way too much.
Yeah, you sometimes you can be your own worst enemy,
That's
and
crazy.
that
But hey,
might be what it
I gotta
is.
show you.
And his dad's his second worst
I got
enemy.
I gotta big up George Kambosos though, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a good fighter and I like him. I want to see more of him.
You know, in terms of in terms of the trainer situation, right? I don't know too much of these dudes, like the trainers or whatever, unless they're famous. I don't know them like that. But Teofimo Lopez, I think outside of the trainer, he's got to get some counseling or something because he seems to be going through a lot in his personal life.
He is.
Like
He's always
he
had.
made a comment,
Uh,
he made a comment about how much he took home after the Loma fight, and his father had to, tell him to chill. He said he took home like $600,000. So he's not making no money, you know, and he got a lot going on. Apparently, him and his girl broke up. It's just a lot. He needs to get his mental right.
yeah,
Not even
yeah,
a trainer. He needs to get counseling or something.
yeah. Him and AJ probably. You know. Because he's always been like that. I kind of peeped that when he with the Nakatani fight. I'm like,
Hey,
when he said no more tall guys, I'm like, why can't you just give the dude credit? Why are you deflecting? Why are you saying this, making excuses? I'm like, it rubbed me the wrong way, but I'm like, whatever, he won.
Yeah, Rob Cruz. I can tell you from what my eyes saw before this fight, it wouldn't matter what condition Tio came in, would have lost this fight 100 out of 100 times. Now, losses don't have to define you and they don't have to break you. You can get better from a loss. But at the same time, like boxing where you're talking about like his mental issues, Kong too. Like he might be the type of fighter that can't recover. He's one of them dudes that loses one time and that's it. Ego shattered. Never fight this again.
Yeah.
Oh,
That that would be unfortunate. Because I think the guy has talent, but sometimes I think getting your ass whooped is a good thing because you probably needed that little reality check. He's a very young, but most
yeah,
unfortunate, man.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, he like you said, Tony, he needs to get his mental right. See a sports psychologist because Kong said, there's been a lot of stuff going on in his life. Getting married young, having a fallout with his parents. Getting divorced young, having a kid. He's just 24. Like I'm only 1 year older than him. So I know that he's young, and he I don't know, man. The guy just he just needs a lot. He needs some help, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
But the question is though, comes down to is the issues he's having self-inflicted or are they circumstantial? Because if they're self-inflicted, then it's hard to feel sorry for somebody. Like let's say him and his girl is getting a divorce, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
why are they getting a divorce? That's what comes into question. Was he
Mm-hmm.
out here like getting every girl that walked by was a dime because he's famous, and that's why they're getting a divorce? Like, you see what I'm saying? To me, it all depends. Is this self-inflicted or just circumstances? Like it didn't work out, they don't get along, they thought they would. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some things you can do to yourself.
Possibly, yeah. So he's gonna. He probably should. He should. I don't know. Maybe he should take a year off. Maybe a year off to work out these things. You know, and then come back. With his mind right, and then look for a new trainer because he definitely don't need his dad anymore.
No, I mean, depending on his relationship with his dad, I mean, he could always keep him around, but I do agree. Like, it's the thing, like there are a lot of fathers that can get their sons into boxing and take them, very far. But at some point,
all the time.
Yeah.
pinnacle with your father is your trainer. You, like you're saying, you need to move on to somebody more knowledgeable, somebody who's this is what they do. This is what their career was. They've trained other world champions. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
They've seen plenty of fighters through their gym. So I agree with you. It wouldn't hurt them to get somebody better.
Yeah, of course. His the instruction in the corner was horrible. So he's definitely needs somebody better.
Well, and that right there can have a huge effect too, because listening to his father in the corner, he may have actually thought he was up by the instructions that he was being told. Because sometimes when you're in a fight, you don't know you're behind. You think you're doing everything right to win it, but in all actuality, it's not going the way that you see it going. You're on the short end of the stick and you don't realize it. It's kind of like Adrian Broner. When you see him go to the corner, he be like, I'm winning the fight. I'm winning the fight. Hasn't thrown a punch for 6 rounds. And it's going to be like, yeah, champ, you won every round. You won every round. So you need somebody who can be honest with you as well. He said, what about Freddie Roach? How y'all feel about Freddie Roach as a trainer?
I think Roach is a successful trainer.
I don't know if we lost boxing learner. Yeah, I think I think Freddie Roach is a good
You hearing me,
enhancer.
Tony?
Yeah, I can hear you, Colin. Can you hear me?
Oh, my bad. I can hear you fine. It's just like I'm wondering if I'm on a delay or something. I don't.
Could be. I don't hear boxing learner talking anymore. I don't know if he stepped away. But
I don't
what I
know.
was saying
But
about Freddie
yeah,
Roach is I think Freddie Roach is a very good enhancer. I don't think Freddie Roach is the type of coach that can take a guy from day one and make him a world champion, but I think he can take a guy who already has skills and make him a lot better.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, I think you're right. Because Manny Pacquiao was a good fighter. He already been a champion before he was with Freddie Roach. So Freddie Roach took him and he molded him. What about?
Hold on, I'll be right back. There's something going on in my house. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Yep. It's gonna be a long road for Teofimo. Because he's got to actually recognize the problems that he's going through. He's got to go back. I can't believe he didn't see all this arrogance. But I guess the pride goes before the fall. Shoot, man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. He had a lot of arrogance, but I'll tell you this. To me, power, being a knockout artist, goes hand in hand with arrogance. And the issue is in my opinion, power can be your worst curse. It can be to where you get to the point to where you're so overconfident because you hurt these guys, you knock these guys out, that when you get a guy like Kambosos that takes your best shots, but he doesn't go down, he doesn't stay down, he keeps coming, you don't know what to do because you're not prepared for this because you're in love with your power. You think you top everybody, and it's clear that Lopez thought that because he said first round knockout.
Yeah, yeah, and he also was. I think he was trying to crowd please a little bit too, instead of actually trying to box.
Could be that too, being that it was in New York. I heard he's not even from New York. I heard he's
Well,
from Florida, but he claimed New York.
no, he was born in Brooklyn. But I think when he was young, they moved him to Florida, and that's where he grew up.
And I was born in Georgia, but I don't know if I can really claim it. It's
I don't know.
what?
Maybe I don't know what age he moved, so maybe he can still call himself a New Yorker. So maybe he was 9, or maybe 5, 6. So if he had memories of New York and he knows about New York, some of his childhood memories, maybe he can claim that he's a New Yorker. But he mainly grew up in South Florida.
Yeah, I heard that today. Like, I had no idea that he was from Florida because he always talks about New York. I could have sworn that's the only place he ever lived.
No, no. Yep. True School Sports talks about him. He's like, hey man, you're from Florida. You're from Florida. Why don't you represent Florida? Because he's down there in Florida, so we're I think close to where Teofimo grew up, and I think he lives in Georgesboro, Arkansas now. So he's lived in different places.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's semantics. It doesn't really matter. But to me, I consider you're from where you're from by where you grow up. Like
Hmm.
that's it doesn't really matter where you're born. If you're born there and then you move right away. I mean, technically you're born there, you're from there. Are you really?
Hmm. In terms of where you grow up, no, because where you get your identity, because your identity is going to be more where you grew up, even though where you're born. So.
Yeah, I agree with that fully. It's like I live in Georgia now, but whenever I talk to people who are in this, that were born in the same state I was born, they're like, "Where are you from?" If I told them I'm from Georgia, they'll be like, "Get out of here!" No, you're not.
Oh wow. Yeah, me too. I was born in Nigeria, but I grew up all my life in Texas, pretty much.
Okay, so you're Nigerian by birth, but you're from America because you sound like you're from America. You don't sound like you're from Africa.
Yeah,
That's what's up, though. Both your parents are from there.
yeah.
So how did they end up in Texas?
Huh? I think my dad, he had this good opportunity where they allowed him to come to the US, and then over time my mom was able to come later on.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
Got to
Hey,
go
me.
back.
hey, sorry about that. My bad, man.
Go ahead, Iron Cone.
My sons are beefing. My bad. Sorry.
Are you good?
Um, in term in terms of Kambosos, right? Kambosos said like he wants to go back to Australia and do a fight in Australia. I see some people saying like, oh, why he want to do that or what. I'm like, hey man,
You earned it.
y'all gotta stop this whole behavior of all fights need to happen here. I think that man said he wants to fight in Australia. And I think he should have the right to fight in Australia. And I
And
think people should have traveled. Just the way people should have to travel. And just the same way I think, what I thought, Wilder should have traveled his ass to England to fight AJ for the Undisputed. These guys gotta get off this thing about how all the fights need to happen in America. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
This man just beat the number one lightweight. You know what I mean? In what could be the fight of the year, and he wants to
Good.
fight in Australia. In my opinion, it's either they pay him enough to stay in the States, or he makes Devin Haney or Jojo Diaz trap.
I'm,
That's
Yeah.
my opinion. We all
I'm,
know.
I'm going to be honest with you, Iron. Like, if
Yeah.
you're the champion, people should come to you. You shouldn't go to them. So if he wants to go
Yeah.
back to Australia, then especially the numbers he was talking about like 80,000 people that he could get in a stadium. So if he can do those types of ticket sales, he would be foolish not to go back home.
Yeah. It's
Easy.
yeah. Jeff Horn fought Crawford in America. He was the champion. I'm like, why not just go to Australia? You know. But I guess Crawford.
Easy. But 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 it's this whole mentality of nah, the fight needs to happen here, whatever. For what? Like, these guys think like these other countries, their currency ain't good or whatever, but that's just the way it goes. We already know if he says he's gonna go to Australia, you have to come fight him, then that means straight up and down Leonard Ellaby and them are not gonna pursue that fight for Tank.
Yeah.
Because they don't let Tank go nowhere and do nothing. He like a kid who can't get off the porch, right? So, you know, in my opinion, if they can pay him enough to stay in America, fine, okay. But if these dudes want to fight you, make them come to Australia. That's a huge fight. Look
Mhm.
what Tim Tszyu is doing down there. Tim Tszyu don't have no belt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, look.
So, I'm going to be honest with you. Again, I'm going to restate it. If I'm the champion, you're not going to pay me any amount of money to make me leave my country. I'm not going to acclimate myself to your time zones. I'm not going to deal with the different bacterias in the water, the food, and everything else. No, I'm going to have all the advantages. You're coming to my home, especially if I had to go to yours to beat you.
Right. That's why AJ. That's why I think AJ and Usyk should probably be in Ukraine. I think it'd be a good fight for the Road Warrior Usyk. But
The
it's all
problem with that is that Ukraine, even when the Klitschko's were champion, they didn't fight in the Ukraine.
Mhm.
They fought
Yeah,
overseas. Like, it doesn't seem like there's like a big market for boxing there.
well
I
they
don't
have a
know.
lot of boxers, so I don't know. I don't know why not.
Yeah, but they don't like. Even I remember Krasov one time was on and he was like mentioning a lot of other venues, but he never says the Ukraine. They say Saudi, they say England again. I'm like, but then someone was like, remember, the Klitschko's fought in Germany and in
Hmm.
the States. They didn't fight in the Ukraine. Never fought in the Ukraine,
Yep.
you know?
But
And we all know money talks. And I
yeah.
mean, despite whatever, Anthony Joshua is big business. People will pay to have his fight.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. They.
People will pay a lot of money.
Yep.
So
They did a great job with Anthony Joshua. He's a very good product. A lot of people enjoy him.
well, the thing about AJ
people
is
like him. People like
he's
him.
got the AJ's got the right mentality. I don't like the way he's talking now about, how he came up praising these hustlers. Like, bruh, don't try to be something you're not. Just be who you are, because that's why people like you. But I think he has the right mentality. He's respectful when he wins. He's respectful when he loses. He's got the look to be able to market him well. He's just got all the tangibles that you would want if you're trying to sell somebody. You know what I mean?
Yep. And when everybody
I
loves
think right now though. Go ahead. Sorry, man. My bad. Sorry.
yeah. Well, I was saying that everybody loves a winner, you know. And when he was
Yeah. I think his issue is right now though. I think AJ is like, I think he's really pissed off about his corner. Like that's something like because his latest interview, which was a very strange interview, they made a comment to him about I think O'Hara Davies said AJ shouted something from the crowd. He did it and it worked. And in Joshua's interview, he said, "You see what happens when people shout good instructions at fighters, and the fighters listen." I was like, "Oh, this dude really pissed off at his corner. He's really
Well,
annoyed at these guys." Like go ahead.
well, here's the problem. Here's the problem that I have with AJ. I think AJ tries too hard to be what other people want him to be. Like he literally, for no reason, took all his weight off, and I think it's the biggest mistake that he ever made with him. Because people called him a bodybuilder, people called him a power lifter, people said he wasn't a boxer, but yet he's knocking everybody out. Well, they stripped him of what made him him, and that was his strength, his size, and his muscles. And you see what happened when he got in there with a guy like Usyk. He couldn't do anything. Like, you have to know who you are, you have to know what you are, and you build off of that. You can't make somebody something they're not. You're not going to turn AJ into Muhammad Ali no matter how much weight you take off of him. It's just not going to happen. So I think AJ's biggest problem is he suffers with trying to change his identity to appease other people. He needs to just be himself. F what people say. Do what works. Do what you like.
I agree with that. But um, I don't mind like the night of the fight with Usyk. I was going up with my wife. We normally go on Saturdays, and she was like, "Oh, you're not gonna still know watch Joshua?" I'm like, "Nah, let's go." And she's like, who I think gonna win? I'm like, if he keeps up this conversation he's having about, because I saw him do an interview and somebody asked him, "Do you think you can outbox Usyk?" He's like, "Yeah, I can outbox Usyk." I was like, if he does that, he's gonna lose. Because I was keep telling people, look, Anthony Joshua gonna have to do a couple of things: box a little bit, and he's gonna have to be a brute a little bit. You can't outbox Usyk. Usyk is a superior boxer to you, but he doesn't have the other things that you have. So you're gonna have to make it dirty, tie him up, punch him up a little bit, make it real uncomfortable for him. And I told my wife, if he tries to box him, like really box him, he's going to lose. We went out, we came back. I didn't watch the fight live, and he lost. And when I watched it back, I said, "Oh, you really tried to box this dude? Okay, well, hey, there you go." But on the other hand, in the fight, there was flashes that he could do something else, but I don't know, man. Joshua needs, as you said, Tony, he needs to just look, be honest with yourself. You ain't never gonna be the boxer Usyk is. You gonna have to just be. You know what I'm saying? And let's go with that. And you don't have to be the boxer Usyk is. Not a lot of people are the boxer that Usyk is. Not a lot of people are. So that's just me. But I hope he keeps up this mentality of being angry and being pissed off, because this might be good for you, bro. This might be good for you. You need to just keep up this sort of angriness and want to do better and want to hurt this dude, because that's what you should have been doing in the first place.
Yep.
I just think he needs his weight back. I think he needs to get back on them weights, get his strength back, get his size back, and go in there and run this dude over like a fucking steamroller. But he's not gonna do
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but he's not gonna be able to do that because he only weighed 237. When he weighed ins, he came in at 240, but he was wearing shoes, sweatpants, headphones, etc. The most he was 237. But Usyk came at 221, bigger than he had ever been. So you're only talking about a 16 pounds difference. He was too small.
Yep. There wasn't a like if you watch the tour, like if you didn't know Joshua before, you would think like, oh, this ain't really like no difference. You know what I'm saying? But if you knew who Anthony Joshua, now I'm not talking about the Carlos Takam size, because that was when he was just too big. He was the heaviest he ever been in that fight. You know, and I'm talking about, coming in at maybe the Kubrat Pulev or a little bit heavier than that way. You know what I mean? Where you're comfortable, where you have strength, where you're able to just bully this dude and get in the clinch with him sometimes and make it real uncomfortable for this guy. But I don't know, man. I wish him the best. I hope he sorts his corner situation out. He said him and his corner had an honest conversation about accountability and whatnot. I hope he knows that he has to be accountable himself. I'm just grateful that he hasn't brought up no ridiculous excuses. Like, I won that fight. He didn't do no dumb shit like that, because I'd have been like, man, whatever. But it's ironic though with Teofimo. He was like, Wilder needs to stop being a bitch and all of that. Now look at Teofimo.
Yeah.
His father's like, oh, it's the zone. It's the zone's fault. I'm like, the zone? What the hell does a broadcaster have to do with your son getting his eye almost punched out? What are you talking about, man? Shut up. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just when I look at how Kambosos beat Tio, I just in my mind, being that you were just talking about Joshua, I think he got beat up worse than AJ did against Usyk. I think it was way worse how Kambosos did Tio.
Yeah,
and
of course.
they were similar. I was just gonna say they were very similar in what they needed to do to win, but neither guy did what they needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know, man. When I saw Tio come out like early and he was trying to bum rush his dude, I was like, he's just waiting for like a check left hook or some shit. He just rushing in face first. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? And he started getting schooled. That overhand right was there all night, boy. Shit.
That and the check left hook.
I was like, what? How is it your court is not telling you? You know what I'm saying? Or you not making no adjustments to deal with that? But I think it was you, Tony, who was saying with Loma, when Loma finally started to fight back more, he couldn't miss Tio. Tio was there for was there all night to be hit.
Mm-hmm.
And when you watch the fight, it's true. Teofimo was there all night to be hit.
Hey, let me respond to these comments really quick. There's not a lot. So, to Rob Kruger said, this is how arrogant is no rematch clause. So Teofimo Lopez could not do a rematch clause because it wouldn't purse bid. Anytime there's a purse bid in boxing, you cannot do a rematch clause because unless your promotional company wins, it'll be controlled by somebody else. So there's no such thing as a rematch clause. Paulo said, with ease, and it looked easy, but you called it pretty close. But Kambosos won clearly. I had it 10 rounds to 2 rounds for Kambosos. Usyk dominated more to me. This was more even, but still a big upset. Again, I agree. I had 10 rounds for Kambosos, 2 to Tio. And then Universal Bullshit said, are you doing a watch along for the Tank and Devin fights? Oh yes, I will. I'll do live commentary for those fights as well. And my bad, Colin. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
Man, much else to say, man. I'm just saying. I hope Teofimo gets his shit sorted out, but I still maintain he needs to get some counseling. It ain't about his technique can come second, but he needs to take a lot of time off and get some counseling. The problem is he has to go back to Bob Arum now, and in a way, Bob Arum being who he is, might use this as an opportunity to shaft Teofimo, and that's a problem.
Oh, you were right, Iron. Bob Arum is own to shelf guy, piss him off, and now that Tio just lost all his money revenue, he may not have a fight for the next 2 years.
Well, that's good. That may be a good thing. Maybe if he actually uses this time wisely. then he could probably come back a smarter, more mature fighter if that's what he really wants to do.
I don't know though, boxing. Like the way that I saw Tio blowing his money, I think he's already spent that trillion of his own money. Like, I think it's already gone. And if he can't get big fights, I think he's going to be in a lot of financial stress.
Hmm. I don't know about that. He's got a lot of sponsorships, so maybe that's I don't know. I don't know what he's doing to make passive income. So I think he talked about that he was out there looking for ways to make passive income. So I don't know about his financial situation, but I know if he does get shelved, he could use this as an opportunity to help himself get better mentally, get in a better headspace in life, and then come back to boxing. Because the way he just acted, man, it's gonna be hard for people to want to see you like that guy who was doing all that stuff against Jose Zapata. Him and his family after the fight, what they did, what he was the way he was acting before the fight, and the way his family acted to Zapata after the
Vargas.
yeah Vargas to Zapata's team after the fight. Man, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to get people to come back to see you.
Yeah, I agree. But that's another one. That's another one. Jose Vargas, that's another one whose father acts like he's the son, tries to have all the limelight. Like when his son lost that fight, got beat up as bad as he did, the dad was crying as he was the one that got his ass whooped.
Mm. Yep, yep. It's crazy. They had Jose Zapata as an underdog in that fight. It's crazy because he's
Which
a
makes sense. None. Like absolutely no sense.
yeah. They think he probably is washed after the Ivan Branchik fight because they both were beating each other up, and he had a very pretty not that good fight against Hank Lundy. So they like, oh, he's done. You know. So
But if I'm not mistaken, before that fight happened and leading up to the fight, Zepeda was like, I'm not really taking this fight serious. I'm not really training hard for this fight.
mm,
And you know what I'm saying? Like it looked like he didn't train for the fight, but if and I could be mistaken, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty positive he said the whole time through that he really wasn't taking the fight serious.
mm. Well, people didn't listen to him. They thought he was probably a shot fighter, so that's why they put Josue uh as the that's why they put Josue as the overwhelming favorite.
Yeah, a guy who had literally fought nobody, then you throw him in there with Zepeda.
But
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm scared is gonna happen to Boots Ennis. Like I am scared, or even Tank Davis. Like these guys, they get to the point where they don't fight the hard fights that they be fighting. Then they go in there with a guy they should beat, they get destroyed.
mm, yeah, it's crazy. What's that guy? Um, yeah, but Josue he showed better character after the fight. It's just his family. His family showed horrible character. You know, I think Josue is gonna be back, but he needs to distance himself from his family a little bit because the image they put out was not good.
No, no. Like you said, after the fight, he accepted his defeat. He was humbled by it. He didn't come off arrogant or anything like that. He gave Zepeda all the credit in the world. He understood the mistakes that he made, and I think he will be better moving forward. But to come back, Tio didn't do that. Tio said he won the fight. So can you really learn from a loss if you believe you won?
Well, he can probably go back and watch the fight. So, go back and watch it, and maybe he can actually, see it from a different perspective. Because, we were saying, his dad was telling him he was winning all the rounds, and he was very emotional in the fight. The way he was fighting, he didn't fight like, like I don't know, like a smart fighter. Even though Kambosos had a lot of advantages, like being quicker, being a faster counter puncher, having a better jab, and being a master of distance. I still think that he fought very, very stupid, especially what he did in the first round. So
Yeah,
maybe he just.
he came out real reckless. He did. That first round was super reckless. And it wasn't like it stopped after the first round when he got dropped and realized, okay, this isn't going to work. The second round, third round, fourth round, he came out just as reckless.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But maybe when he watches it, maybe, I don't know, maybe when he watches it, he'll get the idea that, he didn't do well at all, except for dropping Kambosos in the 10th round.
I think we lost Iron Kong. That reception over there on the islands.
Well, where's he in Jamaica?
No, he's where is he? Saint something. I can't remember. I think it's
Oh,
Saint something.
it's one of those American islands, American
Yeah, yeah.
territories.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on one of them American territory islands. And it's funny because he was showing like videos of where he
Mhm.
works. It's showing like all the tourists come there that like come there and they're angry, talking shit, and they get their asses whooped. Like shit was funny.
Oh, shit. That's
Like he showed some people fighting over an umbrella. Like, it was hilarious.
Oh shit! Were they Chinese? They say the Chinese are the worst tourists.
No, it was two old white guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
But no, it was funny though. But I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I was only supposed to be on for 45 minutes, and we're at about an hour 30.
All right,
I appreciate you stopping by though, and showing support.
no problem. No problem.
Hey,
All
do
right.
you do lives? Do you do lives before you go?
Do I do lives?
Yeah, do you do lives or do you just drop videos?
I just draw videos. When I get probably more subscribers, I'll probably be able to do lives.
Don't be scared of that, man. You should start doing lives. Like, it'll help you get subscribers.
Oh, you can do a live before you get to 100 subscribers.
Oh, you're right. I forgot. They changed that. Oh, you can't. It
Yeah.
used it used to be that you could just do a live, but you couldn't monetize. I think you have to have 1,000 subs now, don't you?
I don't know. I gotta check. I thought it was like 100 and something. Maybe 300. I don't know. I
You
gotta
might,
check.
might be able to though force the live through StreamYard. You should try to download StreamYard and see if you could do it just to test it.
Okay. Stream your.
Yeah, so like StreamYard.com,
Mm-hmm.
what we're on right now.
Yeah.
It may be able to give you access to lives without actually having it on YouTube.
Okay. That's cool. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna try it.
All right, man. Well, again, I appreciate you stopping by.
All right. Catch you later.
All right, you too. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate y'all for typing to me, talking with me, conversing. To Iron Kong, who jumped on the panel. I appreciate that support as well. Other than that, that wraps up this short little live that was supposed to be 45 minutes, but we made it to an hour 30. So y'all have a good day.